I'm going to read a little bit from a prose manuscript called The Undying Present. A horizontal axis reaches across space. There is a vertical thread with undetermined points. Mouth of the rupture opens, swallows the map of a false story, falsely interpreted. The mouth sings with a crooked voice in a language created on the fly. We lie in our beds, hungry and expectant. The punishment begins, then doubles over until the breathing stops. Breathing stops when the space is overcome. The space is overcome when time allows. Time is the cousin of punishment. We are living in a transitional phase that is the ongoing advancement of the rupture. All time is concurrently present in and around us. Tendencies from the old world prick our skins like shards of broken glass. We get nicked, cut, scarred by the things we hold on to and the things we try to forget. We watch images from the archives for remembrance. Figures arise before our eyes as projections in memory or in the flesh, or from a future yet uncharted, as we reconstitute ourselves at boiling point in this scalding crucible of time and place. I follow the trajectory laid out before me. I walk across landscapes through city and plain, desert and forest. I slide up and down the thread that connects the city of margins with the second city. I'm a single current moving with the flow. At times I'm a mess of static electricity full of shocks and sparks. I am one of a many. I carry the others with me, a cadre of millions that have existed across time and place. The others become the self. The self becomes a motive and a machine and a purpose. The office in the building is a microcomposition. The building is vertical and shimmering. The city of margins is a singular perception contained and held by its participants. Those who refuse it are banished or thrown into the realm of lunacy. They write stories, but the city and its residents do not read. Nothing exists but the singular truth of glass and sheen. Damp and dark corners do not exist. One morning a man dies and the next day he has no history. The dead man's daughter enters the city to gather his things. She ascends in a steel elevator to the 35th floor where the empty office awaits her. A drawing appears on the dead man's desk and someone else notices. It is a picture of a tortoise and a warrior with a weak spot. She barely moves a muscle, but only in her jaw. The muscle can never reach the goal. The infinite goal is stressful. She did not want to return to the city. She did not want to sort through her father's things. These are obligations, she thinks, exhausted. She wipes her brow with the palm of her hand. Nobody else is in the room, though someone is about to enter. She knows this. She leans into the desk, wiping her brow. She holds her hand to her forehead until the person enters. She looks up startled as he walks into the office and over to the window. She looks down at the city. She sorts through papers on the desk. A message is embedded in the note, but the note is intended for whom? Not him or her, someone. A single piece of newsprint lies casually over a stack of books. A stationary arrow spears the marginal woman on her side. The drawing vanishes. She was holding it just a moment ago. A portly man reaches around her waist. Every day the punishment is infinite presence. The lesser pains dull the greater, and each contributes half the degree of pain to its predecessor, therefore endlessly paining more. Had she caught the message? The man grabs a newspaper and puts his feet up on the desk. She stands in the center of the room looking out toward the window. She thinks about how to say what she is thinking. She decides to simply think it. Amputation of desires. Through the long dark hallways of an old residential building in the center of the city, we run. Some hold automatic weapons and others ball up their fists. Don't ask questions. Or your questions are welcome, but you must listen to us first. Follow us down the creaking staircase. We're not done yet. We gather in a large room to see documentary reels of our lives in other countries, of our lives in the past, of our lives as they might look in some variation of a future. We see reels of flashing lights and colors. We speak as though we are just beginning to learn a language. We are. Some of us are patient and others are not very patient at all. In order to get this right, we must practice. We practice talking to each other in casual conversations, lying around the room, walking through the city, crammed inside idling cars, standing along walls of deserted buildings lining the edge of town, rolled rolling in pastures where cattle eat shit and stand, drilling among dunes in a sandstorm, remarking on the weather, local politicians, international headlines, our individual daily woes, our memories and motives, recommending new movies and books, describing where we come from, where we've traveled to, where we live, the metronome clicking in our chests, while the shadow of the sash grows longer as the day draws on. We are in the backdrop of an uncompromising scene. We casually flip our long hair to one side or the other before gutting a priest or a soldier, before gutting a cow or a lamb, our smooth arms carved in choppy slices, making visible an inexplicable inner torment. Or the tiny razor that glides through the contents of our chest cavities, carving our little hearts up, little self-inflictions, little failed revolutions, little memorial services, waving to and fro in the historical time-lapsed wind of compressed states of being, the bodies. When the rupture ends, we will rest our hand to our heart and feel nothing. We will see specks of light refracted across a dead landscape. We will breathe as we have never breathed before. The tension in our neck will be gone.